This is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Midoriya, he was told that he is going to be given a trial by combat, and that the person he'll be fighting, he may not like. Now, with that being said, after the whole boring stuff with everyone giving their testimonies, how they know Midoriya, all that, along with people talking about how he saved their planets, yeah, basically everything boring, they decided that the only fair trial was one Midoriya may have been trying to go through for a long time, as his opponent is someone Midoriya can't really outrun. He had to face him one day, and today is that day. As Midoriya steps into the arena and is waiting for his opponent, as he actually does look in the direction of his people, seeing a lot of people from Class 1A, like Momo, Kirishima, Bakugo, Ochako's there, and Mineta, Kendo. There's quite a lot of humans are there. Even Koda, Eri, and a few more people from Midoriya's Lantern Corps, along with Sarah. Now, with that being said, Midoriya is ready, asking exactly where is his opponent. He does not see him, as he does hear something. He hears sparks. What does that sound? As he sees his opponent arrive, as he comes flying in, and he throws his hand into the ground and immediately just stops. And Midoriya looks up at him. Or he looks up at Midoriya, seeing him and staring at him. Midoriya's eyes widening, as he's very confused at what's in front of him. The Black Racer. Now, a bit of a disclaimer. Of course, I know that the Black Racer, he's different and this is him possessing Barry Allen. But, whenever Barry Allen went to go stop himself, whenever he went smashing into the ocean water, the Black Racer scooped him up as soon as he died, since no corpse was ever found for him. Ever since then, the Black Racer has been using his body as a vessel, tapping into the Speed Force along with the power he already wields. Meaning that he has become Death. Barry Allen, he might as well be controlled. However, he is far gone, driven to the deepest depths of his own mind, unable to be found, let alone brought out. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he is aware of his situation, and he's basically just watching his opponent. As he does hear his opponent create creepy sounds from his mouth. They almost sound like talking. Then again, they also sound like feral growls. As his opponent runs directly for Midoriya, before Highfather can even say to begin. Midoriya immediately just moving to his left, at high speeds, moving very fast. As soon as he takes about 10 steps to the left, the Black Racer turns his leg, and immediately runs for Midoriya. Midoriya completely in shock. He's matching his speed, as he just begins to avoid the Black Racer, moving around and trying to sucker punch him, hit him and do whatever he can, along with blasting with heat vision and his own frost breath, trying to encase him and take him down. Clearly, this isn't just some opponents, as every time he does knock the Black Racer down, he just gets back up and comes from a different direction. meaning that he is strong. But he is still running, as Midoriya does actually go to kick the Black Racer, and then jump upwards into the air, and begin to start flying, expecting that he cannot be followed here, and that he can think of a plan. This guy, he's using the Speed Force, right? That's something only the Flash could do. Come on. You gotta understand this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Midoriya is somewhat panicking, thinking for a second, trying to keep track of time himself. Okay, only about 30 to 40 seconds have passed, and the two have already been fighting very intensely. So, as the Black Racer starts running towards Midoriya, and immediately just jumps upwards into the sky, Midoriya, confused, just begins to fly higher, expecting that he can't be followed. As he does look down, you see the Racer just flying towards him with his hands outstretched, screaming at him. This somewhat frightening Midoriya, as Midoriya does one simple thing. He keeps his composure, and he brings his hand backwards and immediately blasts him with his ultraviolet power. This actually surprising the new gods. He does not have his ring, yet he is able to use that power, as the power goes outwards and immediately hits the Black Racer, him somewhat flying through it. Midoriya is beginning by bringing back his other hand and forcing the power outwards. It's going from just being one small little beam to just getting very, very big. Midoriya is beginning to force his shame in that direction. He knows what the Black Racer is trying to do. He somewhat understands it. He can hear it. He can feel it. It's death. Death incarnate. Death if it was given a human form. It wants Midoriya to make up for his crimes, for his sins. That won't happen. Not today. He's trying to repent, and he is not going to leave before he sees that baby be born. Midoriya just being to do one simple thing, blasting his heat vision in that direction also. The Black Racer smashing into the ground, before actually just getting back up. Midoriya barreling in to attack it. As soon as he does come in, he smashes into it and the two begin to bury through the earth. Or the planet, it's my bad. I'm not used to saying a different planet for these what-ifs. Anyways, now, the two begin to bury their way into the ground, as they smash through the bottom of the floating city and smash directly into the planet underneath. Now, quite a lot of people are watching this battle, as they begin to broadcast it inside the arena, since this fight is beginning to get more and more destructive. Watching as Midoriya does actually do one thing, turning around and bringing his hands downwards before taking off running. The Black Racer chasing after Midoriya, as it summons its weapon, its blade. Now, with that being said, there are a few people who do see the battle, and are very interested in this. Usually, anyone who tries to face off against this monster dies in less than a second. This man, however, has lasted around 10 minutes. As someone does actually pay attention to this, Maximo does notice these abilities. They're just like the Kryptonians, but he is long dead. Interesting. Now, Midoriya is running around the planet, and at this point, he's not even bothering to try and hold himself back. As whenever he takes his next step, there is a loud, loud boom, and the planet somewhat shakes a bit, causing a Category 5 to 6 earthquake, as he does actually step off. The Racer right behind him, as he does actually catch up to Midoriya and try and slice him in the face. Midoriya being able to dodge to his left and immediately sock at the Racer, punching him with his left arm. and then bringing it at his right and immediately grabbing him, pulling him off the ground, before smashing him into the planet as the two begin to run around it. A long trail being left behind, and Midoriya just dragging the Black Racer into the Earth, the planet. Anyways, now, this would be whenever quite a few people do want to intervene. This fight is already far more destructive than it should have been. And, well, they can't really control the racer. They only have the means to summon him, not take him away. Now, this is whenever a few of the new gods do actually try and intervene, along with some of Midoriya's own people. A lot of people coming into the battle. Sarah coming in and trying to actually intervene, getting the two to stop. Midoriya smashing the Black Racer across the face with his left arm, as he sends him barreling far away into a mountain, smashing into it before he does get back up and starts running back towards them. And he does actually smash into the Hell Bat suits. Sarah immediately being sent backwards, flying straight into the air. Her entire system almost got fried with the amount of speed behind that, along with her basically spinning out of control. Ochako catching her out of the air and trying to get her stabilized. She is very happy this thing does at least have a balance system. That way she cannot get nauseous. Otherwise, things would not be pretty right now. Now, along with that, you do have Orion and, well, Highfather, trying to take down and stop the racer. He is beginning to get more serious, along with Midoriya. Midoriya blasting away at him with his heat vision, along with actually stomping into the ground and unsettling the earth, making it to where if the Black Racer steps on a certain spot, his leg would go too far deep, and he would fall over and trip, basically making the area completely unfit to run on. Now, Midoriya does actually fly directly towards the Black Racer, smashing his arms directly into his chest, and actually piercing through the suit. Before he actually does also smash the Black Racer across the face once again, the Racer grabbing him by the side of his head. Midoriya is beginning to hear screaming, over and over and over again. He recognizes those sounds. He recognizes who those are. He can hear them and he can feel the blood on his hands, throwing his hands upwards and smashing directly into the Black Racer's shin. One thing happening as the Black Racer goes flying through the air, Midoriya barreling towards him, smashing into him and actually beginning to lay into him with heat vision, throwing him into the ground as hard as he can as the entire area just being filled with booms over and over and over again. Everyone is watching this and everyone is in shock. Is this how strong Superman actually was? He's always holding back? Midoriya is not even trying to show the restraint anymore. He's just letting loose the power. As Midoriya flies into the planet and begins to just smash the Black Racer into it, the two barreling deeper and deeper and deeper. Midoriya grabbing onto his face and beginning to try and rip apart this helmet. He is not the Flash, and if he's just holding onto a corpse, he has to let him go, as he screams out that he knows the Flash because he murdered him in cold blood, and that he is not Barry Allen. The Black Racer just looking up at him, throwing up his own hands and beginning to wrap them around Midoriya's throat. Midoriya pulling away the mask before he sees what's underneath. There is no man there anymore. There is just a corpse, given life. Something that shouldn't be possible. As the mask just begins to come back, clamping back onto the face as Midoriya just begins to lay into it with his heat vision, beginning to burn it. As the Racer is actually beginning to fly upwards, dragging Midoriya through the planets, and holding on to him. As the other two do come back out, Midoriya gets sent flying away, and barrels directly back down into the planets. As something odd is happening, he's absorbing more UV light, and is actually feeling different. His powers are beginning to act up. He hears more voices in his head. He can't pinpoint it, let alone understand them. All of them are going a million miles at once. As he looks up to see the black racer running towards him, this picture in general. Confused for a second, as he just screams out, "No," as loud as he can. A large sound wave flying directly in that direction, smashing the black racer into the ground. As Midoriya does look back at him, and his eyes do get brighter and brighter. Midoriya beginning to just do one thing, blasting into him and just shooting him with as much power as he can, letting loose his heat vision. Everyone just watching this. Midoriya is firing the heat of the sun at the black racer, and nothing is stopping it. Midoriya himself getting back up onto his own 2 feet, and just running towards the black racer, as he just grabs onto him. Now, this would be when Midoriya just begins to hold onto him, and begin to try and rip him apart piece by piece. He's not sure if this will kill Death, but it will at least stop it. As he is fighting for the life of everyone, the Black Racer needs to kill before he leaves, and he is not going to be the one dying. Now, with that being said, quite a lot of the other people on the planet are trying to get a bit more hostile with each other. You do have the fact that, well, Kirishima is trying to come into the battle, hardening himself into his unbreakable mode. It's a lot tougher in this timeline. I want to say at least 5 times stronger than canon. Now, he's trying to run in, and he's actually being told by Bakugo that that is a suicide mission. Kirishima's just doing one thing, telling him that he'll be perfectly fine. As he does actually dig his hands into the bubble and begin to try and pull away at it, and open it up. This not really working before he just tells Bakugo to trust him. Does he? Open the bubble and I can at least try and stop him from doing something stupid. You better not die during this. You got that? I'm not having your death on my hands. You are my conscience, Kirishima. I'll be perfectly fine. As Kirishima jumps off of the... Now, as Kirishima is falling, he's actually doing one thing. He points directly downwards and just thinks, now is the best time to reveal himself. As he just states as loud as he can, Shazam! Being struck by a bolt of lightning as he comes barreling in. Being able to actually grab onto Midoriya and try and pull him loose. He tore the Black Racer in 2. Now, Kirishima gets sent flying away when Midoriya does actually throw his hand backwards and send him flying. And he does smash into the ground. He thinks for a second he might have to do that. Magic isn't really the best for this scenario. If he does strike Midoriya with lightning, then it could work. At the same time, it could also be bad. Now, with that being said, Bakugo would just order Eri and Koda to take away everyone, along with telling Ochako that it is not safe here. Telling her to just get them out of here, along with get Sarah and whoever else is here. Midoriya has gone nuclear. Midoriya just looking into the sky and just beginning to let out this power. As the Black Racer finally releases Ultraviolet, and his corpse is obliterated, destroyed in an instant. The Black Racer going to find a new host, as storms begin to cover the planets. Now, with that being said, these storms do look familiar. Speed Force storms. That is kind of odd, as one thing does happen. Lightning just begins to start striking onto the planet, and along with everyone being very confused. Now, that would be whenever Bakugo does actually go trying to contain Midoriya, trying to wrap him up into a bubble, as Midoriya finally starts to at least burn out, and is at least calming down. The power finally stopping. Now, Midoriya is heavily exhausted. Along with that, he can barely stand as it is. Barely being able to stand up and at least try and move, before just falling backwards and coughing up quite a bit of blood. Now, with the way the atmosphere is on the planet right now, Midoriya unsettled it quite a bit. There are hurricanes all around them, and these storms aren't doing any better. Along with the rain. What the hell is this stuff? As Bakugo goes flying down to go and get Midoriya, trying to get him. Now, with that happening, as soon as Bakugo does get closer to the ground, something happens. Midoriya disappears. And that's very confusing. Along with him looking around and being surrounded by these storms, and the direct center of it, as lightning immediately just strikes Bakugo's ring, and he gets sent flying backwards, as his ring explodes, being swept into the tornado. His orange lantern ring exploded, shrapnel being stuck in his finger, and caught in his hand. Kirishima flying in and immediately just punching out the hurricane, by going straight through it and catching Bakugo. Now, with that being said, Bakugo is in extremely critical condition. Whatever the hell just hits him, it did so with enough force to send him flying away, along with shatter a ring. That's insane, isn't it? It's intense. What the hell just happened? That being whenever he does actually begin to freak out, his body spazzing out, along with the fact that they're not really sure what's going on. The new gods coming in to see this. This mortal was hit by something, informing his allies to take him to the medical bay, take him to get the best medical care they have on the planet. That man is not going to die. Now, meanwhile, over with Midoriya. He is barely conscious, and is currently basking in sunlight, as he is actually coming in and out of consciousness, not even able to see what's going on, before finally opening his eyes, as he takes a deep breath, confused and disoriented, being hit by a, what was it called? What was it? The thing Superman was hit with in the Kryptonian death, sleep, whatever. The UV beam or UV light ray, I think it was called. Now, Midoriya is kind of confused, looking around and trying to get up. Now, as soon as he gets up, he puts all of his strength into trying to pull himself out. And he actually does at least catch himself doing this, before realizing that he didn't even crack, let alone mess up the thing he's in. Finally standing and falling over onto his knees, taking deep breaths. He can't hear everyone, he can't see everyone. He can't see the air or the molecules in the air, let alone the dust particles. What happened to him? Why is he feeling like crap? As someone does walk forwards, informing him that he feels human again. right? Midoriya just looking up, confused. Her just saying that that is the power of a solar, well, flare. At least that's what Superman called it. It's where you release all of your energy at once. Recharging, though, that takes about a full day. Then again, under those things, I'd say about a little under or over half. I'm not sure. You've been out for quite a while. The person just catching themselves before saying, "Yeah, Superman?" Midoriya kinda confused, looking up to see this woman. Now, imagine this picture, but with different color hair. At least dark hair. I couldn't find a good one. Now, Midoriya is not really sure as to who this woman is. And what kinda is more off-putting is the fact that she's wearing the House of L, the Superman symbol. Trying to put this together as much as he can, even though he is still very, very groggy. Asking what happened. The woman explained that he won, and that, in fact, he showed off levels of power that she kinda didn't even expect. Okay. One question though, who are you? Uh, that's not important right now. Anyways, what is important is that you're kind of late. Late? What are you talking about? Midoriya not really sure what she's talking about, let alone saying. Before at least thinking. The only thing he was thinking about during that fight was Jiro. Immediately looking around and trying to look down at his hands, before closing them and trying to focus on his shape, and taking flight. The woman's just standing there, confused. Before at least thinking, okay, she did not expect that. Midoriya flying straight out of the fortress, and looking around, as he tries to use any of his Kryptonian powers. None of them are working. Fuck. Before just flying to the hospital, the nearest one, and going over, rinse and repeat. As he finally does arrive at one. Now, this is the final hospital in his own city. As he is asking them about his wife, if she's been anywhere or been them. Now, eventually, Midori will just walk out, and the Superwoman, she would just be standing there, informing him that his wife is back at the fortress. You kinda ran out without even trying to think. Midoriya is not really sure what to say. Flying back and eventually seeing Jiro, who is in the medical ward of the fortress. Yeah. She is currently holding a baby, wrapped up in a red blanket. Midoriya just walking in as he stares at her. Her looking up at him. The look on her face is a bit sour and sad, but even then, she is happy that he's here, as it turns quickly into a smile. Midoriya just running over and almost tackling her. Although he does basically just put her into a giant hug, as he holds her, and he does get a good look at his child. As Jiro goes on saying that it is a healthy baby girl, before at least saying her name. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.